Okay, so next up we have the Seguin 10 boards. No, I'm sorry, teen boards. I get confused by the name because of what they are. You'll see in her in a minute.
This is
So the teen boards have 10s all over them. Don't get them confused with the 10 boards. So the teen boards cover the teens, but the boards themselves all have the number 10.
But there are 10 boards? Or 10 boards?
We do have 10s boards as well.
Okay.
Now, does it matter if you use this for the teens or the tens? Or
Yes,
yes.
and you'll see why here in a minute.
They look the same?
The layout of them is the same,
Okay.
but they show different things though.
Okay.
I'll explain that in a little bit. So these are Edward Seguin is the developer of these that Montessori actually borrowed the idea for and implemented. So that's why we call them the Seguin boards. But a lot of people will just solely refer to them as the 10 boards or the teen boards. So these are the teens, and we're introducing the numeral obviously. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that the child recognizes the numeral 10. So we're going to start by asking a very silly question here. What number is this?
10.
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 What number is this?
I hope it's 10.
What number is this?
5.
10. What number is this?
10.
What number is this?
10.
What number is this?
10.
It's a whole board full of 10s. Very good.
Rylan would definitely say 5 halfway through.
Probably. Like, I think I know what they are now. So we are going to turn all of these 10s into different numbers. You want to see how we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My eyes waters.
All right, and if the work rug didn't give it away, this is definitely a floor exercise. It
Okay.
takes up way too much space to be on a table.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the number 10 and 1 equals 11. Say 11?
11.
And you both can answer. I'll
Do you have to do it in order, right?
to start with, we will do it in
Okay.
order. The number 10 and 2 is 12. Say 12?
12.
12.
Okay. Number 10 and 3 is 13. You say 13?
13.
Okay, so we have 11, 12, 13. Can you show me where 13 is? Very good. Can you show me 12? Very good. Can you show me 11? Very good. And depending on how quickly the child is picking this up, you may want to have them make the numerals. So that's where you call these out. So kind of like we did with the beads. Can you make the number 12 right here? Can you make the number 11? Can you make the number 13?
It's okay.
Very good. What number is this?
11.
What number is this?
12.
What number is this?
13.
Very good. So you'll continue in the same manner the rest of the way down. So 10 and 4 is 14. 10 and 5 is 15. 10 and 6 is 16. 14, 15, 16. Can either of you show me where 15 is? Good. How about 16? Very good. 14. Very good. 12. Very good. 13. Very good. And 11. Perfect.
So do you always do just 3 at the beginning and then add 3 more and then 3 more? Okay.
Yeah. So with a 3-period lesson, anytime you're introducing new vocabulary, 3 is always the max. You
Okay.
can shorten that and do 2 at a time if you need to, but 3 is going to be the max. Now, there will be a caveat to that when we get to the decimal system, so don't hold me on my word on that 100%. And also, when we did the fraction Skittles,
Mhm.
we did all 4 of them at the same time, or you could chunk them up into 2 and 2.
Mhm.
So it kind of depends. When there's only 4 total, sometimes you can get away with doing them all at the same time, but most of the time there's going to be more than 4.
Okay.
And then you base that on the child if you feel like they can do all of it at once.
What
All
if they
right.
ask a question like, what if I move it this way?
Then that would make a completely different number.
You just don't say anything beyond
Yeah.
that.
I mean, if the child asks what number that is, then I'll say, well, I will show you what number that is when we get there.
Okay.
So you only give them as much information and specific as they ask the question.
Okay.
And they'll either continue to ask because they're inquisitive, which you know that they're actually interested in learning those numbers, so that's a good gauge for you as well.
Mhm.
But just, answer their question and move on. without answering specifically, since you're not ready to introduce that concept.
Okay.
So if we get past these numbers, then I'll get to that number with you. And then move to the 3rd period. So what number is this?
16.
What number is this?
14.
What number is this?
15.
What is this?
13.
What is this?
11.
What is this?
12.
Okay. And then we can move on. So 10 and 7 is 17. 10 and 8 is 18. I'm sorry, can you say 17?
17.
Can you say 18?
18.
Okay. And 10 and 9 is 19. You say 19?
19.
Very good. So 17, 18, 19. Can you show me where 18 is? Okay. 19? 17. Very good. 14, 16, 12, 13, 18, 11, 17. Very good.
We're losing track of whose turn it is.
What number is this?
18.
What number is this?
Oh,
17.
sorry.
Did you say that wrong?
I said 8.
Oh, you said 8?
Yeah.
What number is this?
17.
What number is this?
19.
19. Very good. And of course, again, you definitely want to make sure the child is sitting
Right.
beside you. I hope that was a given. Because they need to be able to see. It's not fair to ask them what a number is when they're reading it upside down or sideways.
Mhm.
So make sure that they're sitting the correct way. Which is actually sometimes more difficult than you would anticipate because a lot of students like to be in the long way of the
Yes.
work. And so you have to constantly remind them you can't see the numbers correctly unless you're sitting over here. And then keep in mind that this will require you to kind of sit on your knees and get up and
Mhm.
move because it's kind of a long board. You have to reach all the way to the other end. All right, so let's review our numbers really quick. You guys want to count with me?
Mhm. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Very good. And then you're going to want to do some testing here. And I would start by asking them to make certain numbers,
Mhm.
and then you'll make numbers and have them find the numbers. So, Shelby, can you make the number 14 right here, please?
12, 14.
All right, very good. Alicia, can you make the number 11?
11.
Very good. Shelby, can you make the number 19?
6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 10 make 19.
Awesome. I like the way you explained that. Alicia, can you make the number 17?
So you have to say 10 and 1 equals 17, right?
Well, as the child, they probably won't, but
Okay.
you can reiterate that if you feel like you need to.
Okay.
So that is the purpose of this, is to help them, just like the beads, understand that we have the number 10, we're adding
Mm-hmm.
a unit to the number 10, and that equals a different number. So it's
almost
okay if they don't.
addition.
It is, yeah. Exactly. Can you make the number 12?
2,
Mhm.
12.
2 is 12. Very good. So you'll go down the whole board asking them to make random numbers. And you're going to see a repetition of these same concepts over and over through all of the activities we have through 99. And it's really fun if you have kids who are at the same level, or maybe even a slightly older child who's reviewing these concepts, to partner up with somebody and they can play a game back and forth. So one child can make numbers and quiz the other child on what the numbers are, or another child can ask the other one to make a number. And so they can go back and forth like that and kind of play a game.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it also allows the teacher to be able to step away and not have to provide that direct intervention as well. So then, as I was saying, making random numbers. So it's a lot easier for a child to read the numbers when they're in numerical order. So we're going to make it tricky. All right, and together you guys can tell me what number is this?
15, 19,
16, 12, 14, 17, 11, 13. Oh,
sorry.
13 and 18.
Very good.
I don't know why I said that.
So one thing that this can do for you as well is you can start identifying if there are certain numbers they struggle with, and then you can kind of set those numbers aside and work on those in other ways. So you might do 3-period lessons just on those specific numbers. You might even want to revisit with the quantities to really ensure that they understand the name of the number, because there could be several reasons. They might just not understand the concept. They might not be able to pronounce the name very well, or they might not remember a counting order where that number falls. So isolating those specific numbers they struggle with and performing lots of 3-period lessons in different ways can be helpful to move past that. Cool? Okay. So I'm going to grab the beads, and next we did the quantity, we did the numeral, and now we're going to combine those concepts together. So while I go grab those, can you guys put these in numerical order from 11 to 19?
We need to come back in, right?
Yes.
Okay.